Netflix's latest teaser comes ahead of the release next month, which will pick up the story of the House of Windsor. Claire Foy will be returning to play Queen Elizabeth II, with Doctor Who actor Matt Smith playing Prince Philip in the critically acclaimed drama. Season 2 of The Crown is slated to feature 10 episodes and will pick up the story in the 1960s, when Britain is undergoing a social revolution with changes in attitudes. Here is everything we know about The Crown Season 2 and the plot so far. The latest trailer for The Crown Season 2 suggests that the monarchy will find itself in a constitutional crisis, as it's perceived to be stuck in the past. The world has changed, society and Britain has changed, a voice is heard telling the Queen in voiceover as she looks at the latest fashion trends presented to her. The Queen is told that she must change everything by her advisor that could see a major revamp of the monarchy. Not only that, the position of the royal family comes into question over their accountability and the fact that they are not voted into power. The Queen will find herself at odds with her husband, as it's suggested that he deviates from protocol and even has an affair. There are also hints that his restlessness leads to infidelity and scandal, which will cause a media frenzy. Prince Philip will continue to struggle living in the shadow of his wife and says as much, grimacing, "My 8-year-old son outranks me." Netflix. Claire Foy as the Queen and Matt Smith as Prince Philip in The Crown Season 2, but her spouse will not be the only one she is struggling against. Even her own sister, Princess Margaret, played by Vanessa Kirby, suggests that the royal family is fragile and could be teetering on the brink of collapse. Politically, Season 2 shows that the British Empire and colonial rule is in its death throes, as a photo of the Queen is taken down and power is given back to nations. Following on from her own scandalous relationship with divorced man Captain Townsend Ben Miles, Margaret has moved on in Season 2 and will be happily with her new beau and photographer Anthony Armstrong-Jones Matthew Good. In the trailer, Margaret is seen in quite a few romantic scenes with her new love, and there's an implication that again she could cause a brouhaha. "I am a modern woman, free to love, free to break away," she says, potentially to the Queen in what might be a scene asking her sister if she can marry. However, it seems likely that the fallout from her affair with Peter will probably be touched upon again, as the RAF officer later went on to marry Mary-Alice Germain. Netflix. Claire Foy as the Queen in The Crown Season 2. I am a modern woman, free to love, free to break away. Princess Margaret, the divisive Duke of Windsor Alex Jennings, known simply as David, will be back in the frame and in London, again stirring the pot with the royal family and remaining a staunch critic of his relatives for their inflexibility. In The Crown Season 1, viewers saw his relationship with his niece play out and how he was ostracized by the royal family following his abdication from the throne in 1936. Season 2 will see President John F. Kennedy Michael C. Hall paying a visit to London with his wife Jackie Jody Balfour. Netflix. Vanessa Kirby as Princess Margaret in The Crown Season 2. President Kennedy and his wife will be seen in an episode of The Crown that will revolve around the tricky and sensitive state visit of 1961, the Daily Mail reported earlier this year. The visit was tense because Jackie wanted her sister and divorcee Princess Lee Radziwill to attend the state visit. Even though divorces were heavily frowned upon, Jackie's sister was eventually allowed to attend, despite the Queen reportedly being absolutely furious at the time but eventually relenting. The Queen will initially have a frosty relationship with her, but the two will eventually become friends over the course of the year. When will The Crown Season 2 come out? Tuesday, November 7, 2017. The Queen and Prince Philip will be firmly at odds this year, and their marriage also seems to be crumbling. Season 1 of The Crown suggested that the prince might be playing away with other women, and his frequent visits to gentlemen's clubs. Some photos released have already suggested that the Queen will fall pregnant again. Given the timeline, it could either be Prince Andrew, who was born in 1960, or Prince Edward, who arrived in 1964. When is The Crown Season 2 released? Netflix has announced that The Crown Season 2 will be released in its entirety on Friday, December 8. The Crown Season 2 will be available on Netflix on December 8.